To discuss how things are looking now, how the coming quarters will pan out, we are now joined by Ugro Capital's Vice Chairman, Shachindra Nath, to take some questions. Mr. Nath, thank you very much for joining us. This is Pavitra. So like I was pointing out, the AUM growth has been good, the dispersal growth has been good, and I'll come to that in just a bit. But first up, if we can start with what really happened on the asset quality, because there's been quite a jump this time, around 25% higher is what we're seeing on the asset quality. So can you tell us what happened there and what is the outlook for the coming quarters?
Pavitra, I don't know where you have seen which data you are seeing, but our asset quality has actually been consistently improving. So if you look at our gross NPA, net NPA ratios that have come down, so we are at 1.3 and 0.9%. Our restructured book is only roughly around 1.2%. 95% of that is standard and current. So I'm not very sure where you
Mr. Nath, your gross NPA for this quarter is 122 crores, right?
Yeah. So you have to look at it in terms of total.
Yeah, I'm looking at the amount right now. So that. Okay.
But you have to look
okay.
in terms of the percentage, because obviously when the AUMs would grow, then the absolute amount would grow, right? So company has grown from a base of 3,000 crore in 2022 to 6,000 crore in 23, and now at 7,000 odd crore. So as an absolute amount, it would grow, but you should look at it as a percentage. It has been coming down.
Even in the percent, it's 1.8, right? Versus the 1.6 which we had last quarter. So is that correct? That is the number that I have.
Yeah. So I think so. So if you look at it on an AUM trend basis, it is more or less in the same lines. Our guidance have always been that our total credit cost would be roughly around 1.5% for the year. And we are in the same ratio. This 1.6 to 1.8, it doesn't matter much, because it depends upon the seasonality of the portfolio. But overall, our collection efficiency and credit quality have been improving.
Mr. Shachindra Nath, just to clarify, so yeah, I guess even what Pavitra was talking about, we were talking about the sequential increase, and even if you look at it in absolute sense, it's gone up 25% in terms of percentage of the book, as she explained, 1.6 to 1.8. Can you just repeat the collection number up for us, please? Where is it as of Q1, and what's the guidance?
So collection efficiency for us have been hovering around right from COVID days between 96 to 98%. So our absolute collection efficiency, the lenders report in two ways: total collection, which is past due plus the current due, and the collection for the month. So we have been in the range of 98% of collection efficiency all throughout, if you look at last 7-8 quarters, and 93-94% of collection efficiency when it comes same month due. But more importantly, the way the small business financing work, that you will see this is a behavioral trend, wherein on the first month, people miss their EMIs and then you call them back and they pay us. So our what we call the bounce or the net retention or recovery rate from the first bounce is around 90-80 odd %. So,
so let's just distill this down, and for the sake of clarity and simplicity for our viewers, let's talk about the outlook for the year. FY24 at a gross NPA level, and now I'm talking percentage, where do you hope to keep it contained to vis-a-vis, let's say, where that number was as of end of FY23?
We think so it would come down further. So I think so we should be at a gross NPA of around 1.3, 1.4% by end of the year.
Okay. You also have a target and a guidance which you've set to increase your AUM. Currently, I think it's at about 6,800 crores as of Q1. You want to increase it to 10,000 crore by FY24 end, and then further add 10,000, make it 18,000, 20,000 by the end of FY25. What percentage of it is going to be unsecured loans? Because there is some concern, and it's been flagged off by the Reserve Bank of India also on the asset quality. So can you give us...
The Reserve Bank has flagged off the unsecured loan, which is the personal loan and consumption loan. Reserve Bank has not commented upon MSME financing. As you know, the government initiative is to provide non-collateralized loan to small business financing, because that is the perennial problem of small businesses in India. However, we keep 30% of our loan book at an AUM level as unsecured, and 70% we keep it secured. With respect to the asset growth, I think you should remember Ugro is the only company in India which started in 2018 when we acquired a small listed company which had no business, raised roughly around 1,000 crore of equity capital from 4 private equity investors. And in spite of, and we pre-invested heavily, so we are a data tech company. So we invested heavily in building India's first proprietary data platform, which uses GST, banking and bureau. and basis that we automated the credit. We are the first company in India which actually augmented the co-lending. We are India's largest co-lending NBFC. The reason why I'm telling you that what you're seeing is the AUM growth. It is not that we are increasing it. It's that because this company has grown from 200 people in FY20 to almost 2,000 people. Physical infrastructure has grown from 9 location to 100 location. And digital infrastructure has grown from 5 people to 275 people. Our liability infrastructure has grown from 3 lenders to 63 lenders. Co-lending partners have grown from 1 lender to 9 lenders. So now as of March, we exited at 500 crore per month, and we are just running that per month run rate, and that will give you 10,000 crore of assets this year.
Okay, 10,000 crores of assets this year. Mr. Nath, just one final question before we let you go, which is on the net interest margins, because this has come down, whether I look at it on a year-on-year basis or on a sequential basis, it's at 7.42%. Can you tell us what you expect to end the year with?
So this year, I think so it will remain where it is because the interest rate cycle has gone up. We don't think so the cost of borrowing for us will come down. It would only start happening by end of Q4 is what our expectation from our RBI is. Our cost of borrowing has remained flat in spite of 250 basis point of increase in cost of borrowing for most of the lenders. And it has little bit increased in last quarter and it will increase little further in this quarter. But we hope to maintain our NIM margin for the year.
Mr. Nath, we'll leave the discussion here. Thank you very much for joining in. That's Ugro Capital, confident that the asset quality will improve. They'll end the year with gross NPAs of 1.3, 1.4%, lower than the current rate of 1.8%, and also increasing their AUM to 10,000 crore rupees from the current 6.5, 7,000.